Today, I'm going to show you guys why this renovated traditional home has not sold for the past 3 years. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to assign it an Arvin score. So if you ever decide to renovate your traditional home, you won't make the same mistakes. I'm Arvin Haddad. I'm the How to Buy Mansion guy. Let's watch this video together.
Okay, so welcome to our latest edition of Mansion Tours here in beautiful Beverly Hills.
Dude, this is not even close to Beverly Hills. It's Beverly Hills Post Office, and it's so far out, it's actually in the valley, 818, like on the other side of the mountain. This is as far and deep as Beverly Hills Post Office it gets. So you only get the post office. You don't get the fire department. You don't get the police department. You don't get anything, okay? You're in Los Angeles, and technically speaking, you're in the valley.
Today we're at a property which has 5,555 square foot, 4 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, and has been recently remodeled by the previous owners or current owners to a really high standard, which we're going to go and look at a little bit later.
This house is glorious. One of my absolute favourite things though is when you walk straight in through the front door, you're greeted either if you're looking out to the east or the west. You've got this passageway, this huge passageway which runs through the whole house. You know, 12-foot ceilings up to, 16, 20-foot ceilings in the entryway. And if I look out to my right, I've got San Gabriel Mountains, I've got a beautiful Ipe deck, we've got the pool. And then if I look out to the west side, you've got alfresco dining, you've got this gorgeous patio with the faux grass. So it feels massively open and airy, and this passageway through it just makes the house feel like it's breathing. It's gorgeous.
Okay, I didn't like that Ipe deck or the fake grass, but the wow factor is actually pretty decent. You see, the original architect who designed and built this house recognized that when you enter through this property, through the approach, you're always going to be backwards to the view. And you're not going to have a backyard because you're against the mountain. There's another property behind it. So it's going to be a linear property. The best way to diffuse the situation is give an entrance through the center. It was never going to be that good anyways. Put the stairway there, connect the vertical connectivity there center, which would be good for the property all throughout, and then create 2 outdoor spaces on each side. That's really good. And through this renovation, they have not changed that. I'm all for it. But this property is going to be pretty annoying for families with young kids. Bringing groceries up and down those 10 steps is going to be just annoying.
And you also have, which is a really big selling point for people that buy houses in Beverly Hills, is downstairs we have a separate guest suite, which is currently staged as like a secondary master bedroom, but that, easily used for production offices, recording studios.
It's good. I think any property having a separate guest house, again, doesn't have to be a separate structure, separate entrance. There's enough seclusion. That's a positive.
Right as you get to the entry, you've got your 2-car garage, and one of my favorite features is you're greeted with this patio deck that if you're at the home, you can look down your long private driveway and see your guests coming up to the house.
As we approach the front entryway, you can see we have a smooth stucco finish to the house.
No, as we approach the driveway, we see like 15, 20 steps to the front door. And that's what I'm talking about. Very, very negative. Now, I'm going to talk about the architectural style of this house, and I want you to pay attention to it, okay? I want you to identify the flaws with the architectural style because it's one of the main reasons why this property has not sold. Pay attention.
So as you walk in, you're immediately greeted with this 12-foot pendant light fixture, and then the architectural details are just right in front of you. I absolutely adore this staircase that they've got.
So the house actually has 2 living spaces. We say the east side and west side. This is the eastern end, which goes out onto the swimming pool and leisure deck. On the other side, you actually have another deck, but it's more for dining because it's close to the kitchen. So lots of details in here, beautiful Italian tile on the floor throughout.
I don't care if they're Italian, French, or Japanese. When you're trying to sell a $7.5 million property, tiling the floors is a massive, massive mistake, especially when you know you have a storytelling property. This is a unique property. This is not your everyday cup of tea, okay? This is a weird lot with two really cool, interesting views on each side, this is when you should recognize that there is an element of storytelling in this property where you can set the mood, you can change the environment by finishes and tell a different story. And this is a type of property where I would encourage my clients to spend more money on finishes because you get to tell a different story, and they just have gone the other way. They're choosing tile as, your flooring choice.
So once you come outside, you're immediately greeted by the pool. And what I love about this pool is if you look over to the hot tub area, the pool level is exactly the same. So when you're in the hot tub or you're in the pool, it just looks like one plane of water. That's one of my favorite pool details that a lot of people are starting to do. The other thing I love about here is anytime you've got a modern house, it can be tough to not have it, sterile or clinical. And the wood details on this house are everywhere, and that's what makes it feel so warm and inviting.
But they didn't do that. And first of all, it's not even modern. It's a transitional at best. It's a traditional home that was modernized very unsuccessfully. But the wood finishes were not on the inside. They decided to go use Italian tile on the floor, which took out the warmth. If they had actually done that, I would have agreed with you, but they didn't. And even the Ipe decking on the outside is this Brazilian cherry wood color that no one has used in the last 20 years. It's really bad. It actually takes the whole warmth out of it.
And this is just one of the 3 outdoor decks they have at this house.
Yeah.
This area, you've got a big pool area, you've got a big grassy area here for the kids or your dogs to run out.
What I love from this viewpoint right here, if you look into the distance, that is the telephone tower for the Hollywood sign. Now, if you've got your binoculars and it's a clear day, you can see the H, just the back side of the H. So I don't have the audacity to say it's a Hollywood Hills view, but Hollywood sign view, but it certainly is Hollywood Hills view. It's incredible up here.
It's hilarious how far real estate agents go to have an edge, have a mental edge over the buyers. You can see the Hollywood sign, see the H, the rest. Spell it out. Let's judge the view, okay? This is a hillside view with a little bit of city view. I don't think the views in the valley ever get better than a 7. I'll give this view a 6.5. Most importantly, if you're planning to purchase this property, it should be the fire insurance, because I can promise you it's going to be very difficult to get fire insurance because it's hillside. It's going to be very difficult. Before you even put an offer on this property, you should first make sure you can get fire insurance on it.
Anyway, going back inside, let's go and check out the rest of the house. So before we go actually out to the main crux of the house, the entertaining and living space and kitchen, we actually passed through this little inlet here, where we have a really big built-out office. All the cabinetry in this household, I think, it's very, very well made, solid, clean, beautiful lines.
I was not really confident. You see, when you do the floors with tiles, I'm assuming IKEA. That's again, nothing against IKEA. For certain projects, IKEA is good, okay? If I'm doing an ADU in a $3-4 million property, I might use IKEA. But you see, when you leave trails of cheaping it out, then you question everything. And at this point, I'm not really convinced this is really good quality cabinetry. Just because it has a soft close doesn't mean it's good, okay?
And then through here, we have a really nice cinema room. Super place to hang out. You can fit at least 10 to 12 people in here to watch your movie.
Okay, this is a really good placement for the media room. This was going to be a dead space anyways, because behind this wall they're sitting on is the mountain, is the property line, right? There's another house right behind it. So this was always going to be dark, never used, and the stairway and entrance blocks the other one. It's going to be dark, perfect for a movie. I don't mind the fact that it doesn't have a movie theater vibe. I actually think being more loungy like this would be better. So far, I like this. The office could be a good location during the day if the kids are in school. For weekends, it's going to be horrible because, there's a swimming pool right there and the kids going to be swimming there and being really loud. But overall, you did get a little bit of separation from other parts of the house. So far, layout-wise, not so bad.
Walking back through, you have the downstairs powder room. Again, Very nice cabinetry, very simplistic.
Come on, man. Come on, bro. Why are you doing this to yourself? You can just talk about the location. It's very central. You don't have to pump up ugly ass finishes. So far, the finishes are extremely cheap, and it's definitely one of the reasons why this property has not sold for 3 years.
Back in the entryway, and we are now into the secondary living room. This is all wired for, again, your television hookups. Very cozy in here. You know, great views again. The Hollywood Hills to your east and the San Gabriel Mountains to your left. Again, opening out into the decks of this space, and then your kitchen behind us. The kitchen I'm really excited about.
I'm not, because it looks really cheap, but I'm excited about the layout. It's really amazing. For a property that was backwards to the view, the original architect had done magic. Look at this. Your family room, your TV area is right next to your kitchen, and your kitchen is right next to your breakfast nook, and all of it opens up to one of your backyards. Amazing. I talk about this to my inner circle clients when I'm helping them design 20, 30, $50 million properties. You want to have your layout keep the family together. And if you're planning to buy, sell, renovate, or build your dream home, and you want 12 months of support from me, apply for the inner circle. If we're a right fit, I would love to help you out.
Yeah, the kitchen's absolutely fire. One of my favorite details you're greeted right as you walk up is this sort of faux oak slab that acts as your breakfast bar.
Yeah, and it goes very well with these walnut cabinets that you've got throughout the main body of the house. It's nice to have this slightly lighter island. Offsets this.
Oh my God. Okay, this is a prime example. Pay attention to this darker wood cabinets, this lighter oak finish over here, and the backsplash tile. They're within the same range. But none of this material looks earthy. None of it. Just because you put natural wood, that does not mean it brings that earthy element. To me, all these finishes look fake. They don't bring that earthy vibe to the property, which the real estate agent was mentioning in the beginning of the video, where he said there's a lot of natural wood being used.
The wood details on this house are everywhere, and that's what makes it feel so warm and inviting.
Well, the floors were tile, and the cabinet and the counter and the backsplash are within the same palette. They do offset each other, but they're of cheap quality that do not do the job of the wood supposed to do, which is warm the property up. It just doesn't. It looks fake and it looks cheap. It looks like a property that they would renovate to rent, cheap it out on the finishes so it would be durable, but not to really attract that high-end net worth individual who is coming from, let's say, a $4 million property, who's already living with great finishes, to come up to this and see it as an upgrade. This would be certainly a downgrade for most people who are moving from a $4 or $5 million property who will want to jump to a $7 million property.
This whole kitchen location is really fantastic.
It's phenomenal.
You are centered in your middle of the home. Living room here so you can watch the kids.
Yeah.
Dining room here, which again, if we go through.
Best thing they've said so far. Absolutely agree. Command and control. Not just you have access to the dining room, you can see the kids outside, you can see who's watching television, you have an eye on the front door, but you also have access to the garage downstairs through those stairs to your left. I really salute the layout for this property, how it has overcome its weakness and positioned it as a strength.
So this outside space must be about 1,200 square foot of decks. Again, the privacy here as you come forward, there is a neighbour off to our right, but beyond that, they're very well hidden by the mature olive trees. Yeah. And again, you look over the valley below, really incredible.
Okay, let's talk about the privacy because they mentioned it a couple times. Look, you do have a private driveway you shared with this house in front of you, and you have maybe one or two houses that have an indirect view to parts of your backyard, but overall, I have to agree with them. It's a pretty freaking private property, and that's a big, big plus.
So before we even go downstairs, I just want to show you this little detail. It's just actually a sliding wall.
Oh, stop it.
Sliding art wall.
I actually haven't seen that yet. That's awesome. So incorporated into this downstairs basement area, you've got this decent sized gym in here as well. You know, you don't need windows. You get in, you work out hard, and you're out. And to have your own private space just for that purpose, in my opinion, is absolutely magical.
Magical, bro. This gym is magical. Very small and a big negative for not having a window.
Off that, you have a 2-car garage, which we can have a quick look at. It's currently got a load of additional staging in it. But again, big 2-car garage in there.
Not bad. Again, decent size. It's important to have covered garage.
And then leading into what we're referring to as the secondary master suite.
You know how you can tell it has really, really low ceilings? When the cameraman is too close to the floor. Very short ceilings.
You have a big bathroom there. You have storage over there to the right, which we'll look at in a second. And what I would do if it was my house would actually be to use the existing headers, drop these down and put in some big sliding doors so that you have your own private access from the front. That way, when you've got business guys or workers coming in, they're not coming through the house, super private.
I agree. It should definitely have an entrance and exit of its own so it could function as proper office or a guest house.
So at the top of the stairs, where we are now, you have this nice little vestibule area, and we have our 2 guest bedrooms on either side. This is the smaller of the 2, but still a really great sized bedroom. Previous owners had 2 twin beds in here, just to give you some idea of the dimension. But they've obviously put another Cali King in here. Incredible views, just really picturesque. We have the bathroom, which Jonathan will show you.
So we've got in here, little pocket door if you need your privacy. Again, top of the line hardware.
Oh my God, top of the line. You got to be kidding me. In my book, this is a 5. Now, did you spot the flaw? There are 2 flaws in this bedroom. Did you spot it? I give you guys 3 more seconds. 3, 2, 1. The choice of color for the wood floors upstairs, it's wood, but it's not earthy again. They are not hitting the spot to give that earthy, natural wood color that warms the house up. Just because you choose a wood color, it doesn't do it. These darker floors, the Brazilian cherry wood and also the gray wood, does not warm up the house in an earthy way. The second problem here is this really long window. It does achieve panoramic or semi-panoramic views from the inside, but it creates a massive architectural flaw from the outside.
And then I've got this full stone-clad bathtub.
Is that stone? I don't think that's stone. Please correct me if I'm wrong. That is quartz. That is not a natural stone.
So second guest bedroom over here. This one has full height windows, about 7 foot tall there. Great views of the pool and the valley and the hills behind. You have this walk-through area where we have a ton of additional storage here and a big walk-in closet, right? We all love a walk-in closet. Again, with a pocket door and full height mirror. Behind us, we have another bathroom. Again, Italian cabinetry throughout.
Okay, here's what I liked about these 2 bedrooms. They were pretty good in size, and the fact that they both had pretty decent sized bathrooms were a positive. Now, the ceiling heights were low on the second floor, no sugarcoating that, and one of them didn't have a walk-in closet.
The Premier Suite is fantastic. Great views over the valley, unobstructed, totally private, and then the master bedroom moment itself. What I love about this is that they've taken the walnut floor and they've taken a slightly lighter bleached walnut and put it on the back headboard.
This is hilarious. I'm in a $3 million home, 1-car garage, and I've thought this finish would not just diffuse the sound echo in this room, but also warm up the space. They're using the same freaking material on a $7.5 million freaking property primary suite. And it's the best thing I've seen in the house so far. And I don't even think I have a great studio. I kind of fell into this job. I wasn't sure my YouTube channel was gonna succeed. I was just making videos and I was like, oh, I'm doing better. Maybe I should make my studio nicer, you know? And I would completely do a different way if I knew my channel was gonna go this way. And my next studio, I'll promise you, will be significantly nicer than this when I make a move to the next property. The funny thing is that this is the nicest thing I've seen so far in the entire house. You have to agree though, this is the only natural earthy element in the house so far.
We have a nice glass door, which is a opaque glass door.
Which is so ugly next to this. Why would you do this?
To give you a bit of privacy, closing off the master bedroom wardrobe. This wardrobe, again, Italian cabinetry, very, very sturdy. You know, it's adjustable, but it's very, very solid.
Thanks. That's a big requirement, you know? You want them to be solid. Very cheap. Very, very cheap for a $7.5 million property.
Let's go through into the primary bathroom, because again, bathed in light, huge views, and this is one of my favorite pieces. You've got this gorgeous tub. It's squared off, so it feels modern, but once you're inside, it's a full massage jet tub. So using that at the end of a long day, sitting here, looking out at that view, I can't see how it gets better than that. I mean, we've also got the double vanity here, all Italian cabinetry. We've got the water closet behind here, and then just a full-size shower stall in here.
Oh my God. They continued with the fake tiles on the freaking walls. The finishes on this property is a definition of 5. And it's not even tastefully put together. I think you can find nicer fake tiles in these. And I'm telling you, one of the main elements, you want to find out about the second element, but one of the main elements for this property for not having sold for after being on the market for like 2-3 years is the fact that the person who was planning to buy a $7.5 million property, they looked at these finishes and they said, we have to redo the kitchen, we have to redo the bathrooms, we have to redo all of them because it's not to our current even standard.
What else is great about this specific bathroom is this out here. We've got this incredible view. You have your private balcony off your primary bathroom. So again, standing up here, long hard day, kids are in bed already, and you can have your own private last moment whilst you've got some peace and some quiet up in here.
And again, a beautiful view and super private, as we've said numerous times. And that's really everything you want in a Hollywood Hills post office.
Did you he just turned it into a Hollywood post office instead of Beverly Hills Post Office. Okay, before I give this an Arvin score, if you're planning to buy or build or design a property for yourself, your dream home, and you want to build it faster, cheaper, better quality, faster decision making, I would love to be that guy to you for 12 months of support. Link is in the description. Fill out the application, and if we're a good fit for each other, I would love to be there and welcome you to my inner circle community. Now, let's do the Arvin score. Location. I'm going to give this location a 7. It's not even a bad location. It's a pretty good area of the valley, I would describe it. It's just, I don't like people like referring to it as Beverly Hills and not mentioning the post office because I just feel like it's misleading. Lot quality. Look, I don't think the natural flat area of this lot was that much, but the architect made it better than what it really was. And for that reason, I'm going to give it a 7. Lot utilization. You don't really have a frontage. You do have a private, semi-private driveway. You don't have a backyard, but you have 2 really good side yards. I'm going to give it a 7. Privacy. I thought it was really strong in this department. I think very, very few people could look into the property. I'm going to give it a 9. Lot orientation. Look, technically speaking, you're south facing to the hill, but your house really opens up to the north, but then you're completely open on east and west side on both floors to really compensate that lack of natural light if it wasn't. And for that reason, I'm going to give it a 7 also. Views. To me, the views are a 6, but considering it's pretty panoramic, you have it from multiple angles, I'm going to give it a 7. Layout. I thought for the problem they had done a really, really good job fixing a lot of the issues. And for that reason, I'm going to give it another 7. Scale and volume. The rooms were somewhat proportional, but the scale beside the front foyer was nothing impressive. I'm going to give it a 6. Finishes. Look, I was going to give it a 5. And I'm going to stick to it. Even if you were planning to renovate a $500,000 condo in the middle of nowhere, you would have probably used the same finishes because if you want to get new finishes, this is what it looks like at the very entry level. It wasn't even luxury in any shape or form. Now, in my inner circle, half of my time, even without my clients asking for it, I'm trying to mesh the 10 principles together and create a right balance between the 10 principles to save them money. And there are times that I would recommend that in this property, in your case, this is where you have to spend the money, and you have to spend it on the money on the finishes if you want that big exit. That's your only differentiating factor, because they didn't really change anything else beside the property but the architectural style, which is the next flaw. Architecturally, I'll give this property a 2. I think it's butt ugly. I think it's a really, really bad way of modernizing a traditional home. I have a video on 2 properties in Great Britain that have done amazing job modernizing a traditional home, and I will link them right here. I think you should watch these videos to see how you can do it much nicer to bring a higher resale value and create a little bit more significance towards that architectural style. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the comments.